How many Congress people, members of Congress, do you think are in that anti-American crowd you describe? How many Congress people you serve with?
Well,
I mean, there's 435 members of Congress. How many are anti-American in the Congress right now that you serve with?
You'd have to ask them, Chris. I'm focusing on Barack Obama and the people that he's been associated with.
But do you suspect that a lot of people you serve with,
their anti-American nature?
Well, he's a United States Senator from Illinois. He's one of the people you suspect as being anti-American. How many people in the Congress of the United States do you think are anti-American? You've already suspected Barack Obama. Is he alone, or are there others? How many do you suspect of your colleagues as being anti-American?
What I would say is that the news media should do a penetrating expose and take a look. I wish they would. I wish the American media would take a great look at the views of the people in Congress and find out, are they pro-America or anti-America? I think people would love to see an expose like that.
Okay, thank you very much. U.S. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota. Stephanie Cutter is a senior advisor with the Obama campaign. Stephanie, I've just been given a mission here to see how many members of the United States Congress are anti-American, and that was done in all seriousness. Right. I'm not being sarcastic. That was a direct request that we in the media start looking at these liberals and leftists in the U.S. Congress and determining which of them, including Barack Obama, perhaps are anti-American. This sentiment out here in this campaign, I want to play this for you, by the way, again. I want everybody to hear this on this show, not in their telephone when they pick it up by accident. This is being directed at undecided voters out there. And listen to the language. If you're a little bit squirrely to begin with and you get a phone call like this may put you over the edge. Listen to this, what they're saying about this. You get the idea that Barack Obama is involved with terrorism. You get the idea that he's a leftist, you know, a revolutionary ready to take over the government after he commits his terrorism. Listen to the way this hits you, just picking up the phone and hearing this once.
Hello, I'm calling for John McCain and the RNC because you need to know that Barack Obama has worked closely with domestic terrorist Bill Ayers, whose organization bombed the U.S. Capitol, the Pentagon, a judge's home, and killed Americans. And Democrats will enact an extreme leftist agenda if they take control of Washington. Barack Obama and his Democratic allies lack the judgment to lead our country. This call was paid for by McCain-Palin 2008 and the Republican National Committee.
Stephanie Cutter, I'm not going to play that again tonight. I played it enough, but I'd say if I picked up the phone and I heard that quickly, I'd hear this guy's involved with terrorists. He's involved with that when they commit the terrorism, not something that was done when he was 8 years old, that he's somehow involved with a leftist agenda once he's completed his terrorism. I'd say this guy ought to be picked up now. The FBI to go track this guy down. The way you read, I mean, it just hits you this way. This is the strongest stuff I've heard since back in the 50s when they used to call up and say, hey, you know, this guy's a communist, you know. Yeah, well, what do you think? You're on the other side of this fight.
Well, what do you want me to say, Chris? I mean, you know, sitting here listening to that interview that you just did. Well, what are we going to do about it? We're going to continue doing exactly what we're doing. You know, 2/3 of the American people think that John McCain is running a low-road campaign. And he spent the other night trying to convince the other third. Calls like this, you know, you think this is going to convince an undecided voter that John McCain is going to put America back on track, or there are better days ahead under John McCain?
Well, I think this is pretty spooky stuff you're up against.
I think the American people, it certainly is pretty scary stuff. And the only way they're going to win is through scare tactics. It just shows just how desperate they've become. You know, I think the American people have learned over the past several years.
The duly elected U.S. Congresswoman saying that she wants us to investigate as journalists a good portion of the U.S. Congress, starting with all the Democrats who are liberals and leftists and perhaps anti-American. This is serious division, I think, going on here in our country that I thought was getting perhaps a little calmer these days. But
well, I'm not sure that Congresswoman really reflects where the American people are. If she does, I think I'm getting the next ticket to Canada. I mean, give me a break. The American people are worried about, you know, how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to send their kids to college, you know, how they're going to keep their homes and prevent foreclosure. You think they're worried about some association that Republicans claim Barack Obama has? When Barack was 8 years old, Barack Obama has said that he does not agree with Bill Ayers' views. He's found his acts deplorable. They've served on a bipartisan board on education funding for public schools. It was a board funded by a Republican, ambassador under Ronald Reagan. You know, these are the facts that Barack Obama actually wanted to have out in the debate last week. And these are the facts that John McCain brought out. What else do they want us to answer on this? You know, I think that they've got a couple of things to answer for. How are they going to rebuild the middle class? Why do they leave 101 million Americans out? You know, why is John McCain lying about his health care plan? He's going to tax employer benefits for the first time and cut Medicare by $800 billion. These are the things that he isn't telling you. This is what the American people should be scared about.